Well, there we go. Hello, YouTubers, MCU fans, DCU fans. We're back here on the MCU's Bleeding Edge on a, in my time zone, a late afternoon here on Wednesday. But we've got various people from various parts of the world right now on the show. This is going to be a global MCU's Bleeding Edge episode. We've got the Grandmaster here from way the hell away from me, 6 hours away from here or whatever. Say hello, Grandmaster.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, and of course, where are you coming from, Grandmaster? You're from the Podcast of Champions and Sakar and everything.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a Sakar's Grandmaster. It's a small but growing pop culture fan forum with a big focus on the MCU, of course, the biggest franchise of all time. And we make a podcast and reviews as well on our YouTube channel, the Podcast Champions.
Excellent. And then we've got, of course, Alexis, a frequent guest on the show. Alexis, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
And do you want to just basically do a quick shout out for Honeysuckle Creations and everything really quick?
My company, Honeysuckle Rose Creation, yes. Yes, of course, our stores are fully stocked on Etsy and Handmade at Amazon, and we're getting ready for our Labor Day sale. It kicks off on Friday the 3rd. It's going to go until Monday the 6th. I had to count. And everything in both shops will be 15% off. So,
and this is actually some of Alexis's stuff right here that I'm going to stream right on top of the screen. But okay, and then of course we've also once again got Yvonne Rempel for the first time in a long time. I think it's been how long, Yvonne? Like a little over a month.
Yeah, I think about a little over a month.
That's right. She had a big move. And she went across the pond. And she's joining us from the UK.
We're in the UK.
Where am I in the UK?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just northwest of Manchester and Chorley.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I studied in London for a bit, so I was like, okay, where are you?
We are headed at the end of September to the London MCM Comic-Con.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Yvonne is a regular on the MCU's Bleeding Edge as well, and we're very happy to have her on, of course. I don't have any of my co-hosts with me. It's just going to be me solo with these guys, and basically what we're here for today is just a roundtable discussion on some of the upcoming trailers for the next 3 installments of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We've got the Eternals that we're going to start with. I don't know how we'll see. We'll get a feel for how the panel feels about that right now. I'm still a little bit pessimistic with the Eternals. Shang Chi is coming out. Well, I don't know. For me, it's coming out on Friday. But Alexis, you said you got your tickets for it already for tomorrow night?
Mm-hmm. Yep, got it. My husband surprised me with tickets. We're going to do it's like the first date night we've had in over a month because of all my travels for Comic-Cons.
Is that like a promotional release of it or something like that? Is that why yours is out on Thursday and mine's out on Friday?
No, a lot of big name movies have early night premieres.
Oh, okay.
You ever heard about it's like going to the midnight premiere?
Yeah,
of a movie?
I have. Yeah, I have. Yeah. I never even thought to look to see if I could have got tickets for Thursday. So maybe I could have done that too. I don't even know.
I'm spending Friday with a friend and I'm spending Saturday with a friend. So I really didn't want to cut off hanging out with my friends to go on a date night. I just hate overlaying my schedules like that. So yeah, I was talking to Andre and I was like, let's go out on Thursday night.
Well, what about everybody else? Grandmaster, are you going to be going to see Shang-Chi here pretty soon?
Yes, Saturday morning, 11:20. It was the best showing for me. And I'm happy to report the movie already came out last midnight. So that's basically Tuesday night at 12 here in the Netherlands. So it's already been seen by a lot of people. I stay off Twitter and especially the hashtag Shang Chi because I don't want to get spoiled.
I haven't watched a single YouTube video that's come out on Shang-Chi in the last 2 weeks. I'm just avoiding it completely. I don't want any spoilers at all. Even the Easter egg stuff, that they do on some of these YouTube channels, for some of these trailers. The same thing with Spider-Man 3. I've been avoiding all that stuff because I don't want to get any of it spoiled. I want to have it fresh for myself. Yvonne, are you guys going to go see Shang-Chi?
We will, but we're still settling a little bit here after moving across the ocean. So once we get a little bit settled and we find our feet beneath us, then we'll be hitting the movie theaters.
Well, you've got plenty of time. I'm sure that Shang-Chi will be in theaters for quite a while. I know for a fact Black Widow is still in theaters, right? I mean, yeah, I'm sure it will remain for a while. I would assume.
Well, it's only real competition. I would say it's only real competition right now is Candyman, which also saw yesterday. Really good, scary movie.
Okay. Great. That's good news because Nia DaCosta, the director of Candyman, is also the director of the Marvels. So
that's correct.
Yeah. In fact, the lead female protagonist of Candyman is the actress who played Monica Rambeau. Who's going to appear in the Marvels.
Oh, really? Yeah. She's in that?
Oh.
Yeah, she's really good in it.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
She actually gets one of my all-time favorite scenes in Candyman. This is not a spoiler, I swear, but she's looking to talk to someone, and she's in a laundromat where this person works, and she's looking around, and she opens this door, and it leads down to, I guess, like a basement, like a very creepy basement. All the lights are off. She opens it, and she just goes, nope, and she shuts the door and walks away. It's like, yes, thank you, logic.
Yeah,
I can't believe I watched that trailer and I did not realize that was her.
I know, right? I didn't realize it was her either.
No, I didn't even. It didn't even occur to me. But that's interesting to hear that movie is pretty good. I was wondering about it, to be honest with you. I've never really been a huge Candyman fan, to tell you the truth, but I guess it's okay.
Well, we did, for those interested, we did do a roundtable discussion with the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. It was myself, Jason Teasley, Robert Winfrey, and we brought in a special guest, a local film director here in Kansas City, Dorian Price, who's working on a couple of his own little horror films. Brought that in to, like I said, we talked about the movie last night. It was a different discussion than what we usually do, because usually it's just going back and forth, biting each other's heads off. This time we did more of a roundtable discussion where Robert actually asked us specific questions instead of just letting us go off on tangents. We all had a lot of things to say about the film, about the well, there's no other way to say it, about the political leanings of this movie. It's impossible to have a film like Candyman in today's day and age with the Black Lives Matter and not have that be a massive influence. And that was something we talked about for quite a while, as well as what is clearly Nia DaCosta's influences. You see a lot of Stanley Kubrick. I point out you could see a little like a German expressionism in the film in certain scenes. So for those who are interested in listening on the W2M network, you can catch our latest review on the Candyman reboot, sequel. You know, it's actually a couple of different things. It does tie into the first Candyman. It ties into the first Candyman, but it is a new Candyman as well. So you can call it a reboot, you can call it a sequel. I think it's technically both.
So basically, It's a bit like the Suicide Squad. It's like a sequel, but it's also like a reboot mixed together. Yeah,
very much. Yeah,
that's right.
I have one more comment on the.
Go ahead, Grandmaster.
It's a 45 days exclusive release in theaters. So at least for 1.5 months, it's in theaters alone. So you have time, Yvonne.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, well, and the Radulich and Broadcasting Network is certainly a friend to this program. Mark has been on the show before once in the past. We're hoping to have him on again. I actually just talked to him the other day, Alexis, about some stuff that we might review together potentially here in the future. I can't remember exactly what the titles were of the films, but there's a couple that he wants to do that he was thinking about bringing me and you on to do. So let's go ahead and launch into these trailers and start doing some reactions here. Let me just go ahead and...
Now, when you say reaction, I just want to make sure, are we going to be able to talk over the trailers, or will you be muting us?
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start off by going ahead and playing the trailers outright, full screen, for us to just take in and watch. And then I'm going to go ahead and jump into some questions and some topical stuff. But I'm also going to go ahead and play some of the trailers again, like during the talks, you know what I mean? You know, and I'm thinking about maybe, you know, stopping and pausing it and stuff like that and kind of breaking them down a little bit. But let's just start off with just playing them full screen, and then we'll do our basic reactions off of that.
Okay, sounds good.
I mean,
"5 years ago, Thanos erased half of the population of the universe. But the people of this planet brought everyone back with a snap of a finger. The sudden return of the population provided the necessary energy for the emergence to begin.
How long do we have?
7 days.
We're Eternals. We came here 7,000 years ago to protect humans from the deviants.
Why didn't you guys help fight Thanos? Or any war, or all the other terrible things throughout history?
We were instructed not to interfere in any human conflicts unless deviants are involved.
By who?
We need to find the others.
I haven't seen some of them for centuries.
Hi.
Hello.
This is what the end of the world looks like. At least we have front row seats.
You know what's never saved the planet? Your sarcasm.
We have loved these people since the day we arrived. When you love something, you protect it.
You can't protect. Any of them.
I bet you've built the perfect safe house. I mean, what's this even made of? Vibranium?
Fall collection. IKEA.
Isn't it?
We have watched, unguided. We have helped them progress and seen them accomplish wonders. Throughout the years, we have never interfered until now.
Thank you for this.
Oh, you're welcome.
So now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man are both gone, who do you think's gonna lead the Avengers?
I could lead them.
Okay, so this is kind of off topic, but just to go around really quick, just because this just popped in my head. Yvonne, who do you think is going to lead the Avengers when we get the new Avengers in a couple of years? Who do you think is going to lead the Avengers?
Well, Captain America's going to lead the Avengers.
There you go. That's right. That's right. You don't think there's any chance that they might have like co-captains or something like that? Like it might be Captain America and maybe somebody else too, or like
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I think
so
I'm pretty confident. I think they're as much as they're mixing together and we're seeing it pop up, together. It's still very individual in how they do things. So I don't think that they're going to mix the two.
No,
I don't think they're
so either. No, I don't think so either. The Eternals are not. I don't think any of these Eternals characters are actually going to be on the Avengers. I don't, to be honest with you. But I do think it's an interesting question because, I hear this getting asked quite a bit. People want to know who's going to lead the new Avengers team. I think it should be Sam Wilson, just like you said. You know what I mean? Like he's Captain America. But Alexis, what do you think? Who's going to lead the Avengers when we get the Avengers in maybe 3 years or 4 years?
Oh, it's definitely going to be Sam, without question. I think we're going to see a new trinity with Sam Wilson, the female Thor, and I'm leaning between either Spider-Man or I know that we're going to get Ironheart coming in. So I think it really comes down to how big of a role Renée is going to play when she comes into the series.
Well, I think she's going to be on the Young Avengers.
Well, they've dropped hints that she's going to start appearing sooner than we think. And she's going
to be in Black Panther too.
Exactly. So, again, I would normally say Spider-Man, but I know that Marvel is really hedging a lot of their bets on this new character. So, holding off on final judgment on who the final third member of the Holy Trinity is going to be until I see just how big of an impact she has.
Okay, Grandmaster, what do you think? Who's going to lead the Avengers?
Well, definitely Sam Wilson. When it comes to Trinities, I would submit, and it's not a popular opinion, but Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, has a good chance, or even Stephen Strange. But it depends on when the next Avengers movie will come out. Contracts will be up, and new characters will be flushing into the MCU in the next few years. So it's a bit hard to say, but definitely Sam Wilson.
Well, that's so we're unanimous on that then, which is nice to see because that's kind of where I'm at too, But I do think also I agree with you, Grandmaster. I think as far as like a new Trinity goes, I don't see how Captain Marvel doesn't make her way into that. Spider-Man 2, I could see him popping in there as well. I think that I don't see him, he's not the leader type, but I see him becoming a more significant part of the Avengers as he continues to mature. Go ahead, Grandmaster.
Well, I have the feeling it's obvious they have several teams now. Guardians, of course. We get now Eternals. I have the feeling it won't be so much Avengers-centric anymore in the MCU going forward.
Yeah.
It will, and those characters will meet each other, but it will not be like a major Avengers team up where the Eternals and the Guardians and everybody comes in. I don't see that happening.
No, I
not
see
for
that
a while.
I see that happening, if anything, with the Avengers and the X-Men. I don't want to get into all that right now, but if they do something like that, I see the crossover coming between the X-Men and the Avengers, just like in the comic books. But onto the Eternals. So starting off with you, Alexis, the one thing I will point out that I noticed that I didn't come to realization until now is that I did notice when I watched these trailers before that you never see the Black Knight in his costume or anything like that, or actually wielding his sword or anything like that, or fighting. And then when you see the Eternals in that last trailer that we watched, when you see them all together on that hill and they're like all unified in their uniforms and everything, he's not there. You know what I mean? Like he's not actually present in that scene. So at this point, I'm starting to come to the realization that I don't think we're actually going to get the Black Knight in this movie. I don't think he's actually going to become the Black Knight. He's going to be a character in the movie, Kit Harington, but I don't think he's actually going to pick up the ebony blade and become the Black Knight. In fact, I won't lie. I already saw a leak that he's going to find the ebony blade in a post-credit scene, like at the end of the film. But what do you think, Alexis? Just based off of watching the trailers, essentially, what is your take on like the direction of the Eternals?
Permission to be blunt?
Of course.
Marvel may be in trouble. The Eternals is not a story arc that a lot of fans are familiar with. You ask any person, whether they read comic books or not, they know Captain America, they know Iron Man, even Thor, who was a little bit more of an obscure character before the MCU really took off. He wasn't as popular, I would say, as some other characters, but the Eternals are not ones that have really gotten a lot of limelight. And I'm going to be honest, the trailers are not building confidence. They are showing us these characters we don't know, we're not familiar with. They're not really presenting what the story arc is. They're saying that the end of the world is coming, but we don't know in what context. I know that it's a cliche, and we always hate it when they do this, but this is a story that probably needs more of an everyman who is going to, fall into things and be like, what the hell is going on, to explain it. But from the trailers alone, we're getting thrust into this world that we're not familiar with characters we don't really know that well. And I don't know, it just doesn't really come across as that engaging. Even the villains, we don't really see a lot with the villains, with the deviants. We see like 2 or 3 of them, and yeah, they're scary looking, but we don't really know what's going on. And frankly, Marvel trailers are supposed to get us more excited than this. This is a movie I watched the first trailer for, and I'm like, okay, now what? And we're not getting that answer yet. I could be 100% wrong. This movie could be amazing. It could be really enjoyable. But for what we've been given, I am not excited yet.
Well, the music and the cinematography is great. You could, I agree with you. We've talked about this before in the past, you and I, about the same subject. I saw the first trailer, and my reaction was the same thing you said. Like, I'm worried about this right now. Like, I'm actually worried about this film, like, how it's going to end up coming out. Because, I mean, it, to me, like, it has, I mean, don't get me wrong, the second trailer definitely kind of brought it, home to me a little bit more. But I'm still kind of a little bit worried that this might be like the first real failure, kind of like in the MCU kind of thing. And I think Alexis makes a really good point there, that there's almost like a separation between the Eternals and the rest of the MCU, which I think they want in one way, but I don't know if that really plays very well with the fans. But Grandmaster, what is your take, just based off of your immediate reactions on what you've seen in the trailer so far?
Well, I see where Alexis is coming from. So, don't get me wrong. I have a totally different view on it. Actually, I'm a person personally who likes to see new characters coming in. I'm not a comic book reader, so to me, all characters are unknown. So unknown is a big word, but and I think this movie looks amazing. The cinematography is really great. The cast is excellent. Cannot fault it there. And it's a Marvel movie. People will go see it at least once. At least the fans will go see it at least once. They have one big thing going for it, and that's Chloe Zhao, the director. I mean, she won the Oscar the last time. I have a feeling this movie will be Marvel Studios' first nominee, actually, for Best Picture. Or no, second one, but actually one that has a shot at winning it. But I can see where Alexis is coming from. But then I throw in Guardians of the Galaxy. They were virtually unknown when that movie came out. Granted, those trailers were actually very exciting. So that's the difference. I agree on you there. And I think, and I do think that taking a story over a period of 7,000 years is a big risk, because you have to tell a lot of story in 2.5 hours time, and I can definitely foresee problems with that. Only again, I trust Marvel. I've seen Nomadland. I've seen Chloe Zhao's power, and I think that should give us enough confidence that this movie will do well. I don't know if it will be a massive box office success, but I think it will be critically acclaimed and, like I say, a potential Best Picture nominee. at the Oscars.
Well,
I will
that,
go ahead and say I will agree with you guys. The cinematography and the camera angles and everything are really beautiful in the trailer. It is gorgeous looking. Like I said, I'm just waiting. I miss the squee moment.
the
You know,
costume
and-
designs are really good too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, the cast, awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of these actors join the MCU. But again, let me put it this way. Without going into the trailers that we're going to watch later on in this discussion, second Civil War trailer, when Spider-Man first appeared, how many of you like either squeed or you jumped up and cheered or you just had that huge grin on your face? You're like, yes! Oh my God, you're just so excited for that.
Yeah.
That's what Marvel often brings with their trailers. They get you excited. They really make us want to be a part of it. They make us jump up in our seats. These trailers are not hitting that mark. So
I agree. But maybe Eternals is just not that kind of a film.
very true.
Marvel Studios is doing a very good job in dipping their toes in different kind of genres, and this kind of movie is something new, and it may not be an action-packed movie with a lot of exciting things. I mean, it has one thing going for it. We get another Superman kind of character before we get Man of Steel 2, and that counts for something.
Yeah, it seems like that's Icarus, isn't it? I think he basically has the same. He has the same power set as Superman, essentially. He can shoot eye beams. He flies. He's indestructible. I mean, I don't think he's as powerful as Superman. But Yvonne, what do you think? What is your take on the trailers? Just based off the trailers, what is your gut reaction?
I think it's going to be a great movie. I think it's going to be nice to watch. The cast is great. Everything looks fantastic as a movie. If I saw that in the theaters, I'd be like, oh, I'd go watch that in the theaters. I wouldn't wait for it to come out. But at the same time, it's a really great backstory and not part of the line of the MCU. So I think it's really going to give us a lot of understanding of why things happened in the end, but it's a great backstory. And it's not going to make us excited about what is up and coming in the MCU. I think it's going to really cement some doors closed for us and be like, okay, we're not seeing anybody else anymore. And then they're going to move forward. So that's kind of what I think. I'm excited to watch it. I think it looks fantastic. It looks funny, some of the, comedy in there a little bit. You laugh in the trailer. You're like, okay, I hope this isn't going to be the only comedy. I hope it's going to be really good. MCU's great at bringing great movies, but yeah, I agree. I think if you don't understand the comics, you're not going to understand what this movie is about. And that unfortunately could lead to a downside of audience people who love MCU, because now they're going to have to go Google search who are the Eternals before they can move forward. And to be honest, a lot of people don't want to do that nowadays because, Spider-Man was great. Everybody knows who Spider-Man. I mean, people knew who Thor was in the 90s, right? Like, comics were really big, but when you go further back into the Eternals, you're not for the new audience they're trying to bring this to. I think it's a disservice, and I'm really hoping MCU doesn't do anything to bring in the new audience by putting out this movie.
Well, I'll go right back to you, Yvonne. What do you think about what they gave us for the Deviants? What did you think of them? Do you feel like they're compelling as like villains or whatever? Like, what did you think of it?
You know what? Honestly, if I didn't know what the comics were, I'd be like, they just look like creatures from the ocean or the creatures from the sea. Like there's no explanation in what they are. Like, if you don't know and you watch the trailer, I have no idea what's going on. I actually probably wouldn't have even known it was part of the MCU if it didn't have that opening credits. So there is some hesitancy, going, this is a huge MCU movie that, is part of the line. And we're waiting for, like Doctor Strange or, Wanda to show up or somebody, because that's what we've been getting. And we're not getting that at all. And so people don't want to go watch the backstory. They want to know the story in motion. So I think if we don't put out there some kind of information of what this is, I don't think it's actually going to do really well. And people might see it once because it's MCU, but other than that, it might end up being like a Captain Marvel, and people are either going to love it or they're going to hate it.
Well, what do you think, Grandmaster? I was kind of shocked when I first saw them, how they ended up doing the deviants. I had something different pictured in my head personally as far as what they were going to look like. But what was your thoughts on actually seeing what they're giving us for the deviants?
Well, to me, they look a bit generic, it gave me even a little bit of a Jurassic Park feel, and it's just another CGI monster, basically.
Yeah.
But I do think there's more going on than just the deviants. At least if I know my Marvel correctly. So I'm not convinced the deviants are the main villain of the film even. So, but we'll have to see. But I didn't care much for the look, in the sense I didn't hate it, but it wasn't really special to me either. It was very, very generic. It was another generic CGI monster.
That's exactly how I felt, that it was very generic. What do you think, Alexis?
I have to agree with Yvonne that I know a little bit about the deviants from doing when they first announced about Thanos, and I did a little bit more research about him. But yeah, I don't really know that much about them. You got the one that goes after Angelina Jolie's character, and I hate to say it, even that shot kind of bugs me because she's just like, yeah, not paying attention. I'm like, you have evil creature tentacles wrapping around you, woman. Emote. Do something. Angelina Jolie, we know you can act. I'm just like, what is going on with that scene? And yeah, they just say that the world is ending in like, what did they say? 5 days, 7 days, something like that. It's
7 days.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, what's going on? It's just very hard for me to get into the concept of the Eternals when we don't even know anything about the characters. I'm starting to wonder if this would have been better if we had gotten maybe a little bit more of an introduction to the Eternals before the movie. How do I put this? Like with the Infinity Stones, how they kind of laid out the groundwork for what the Infinity Stones were and everything. Because if they had just brought those in suddenly with Infinity War, without us really knowing what the buildup was, we've been like, huh? What's going on? What? Gauntlet? What? So, but again, I could be 100% wrong. Marvel has shown us time and time again, they know what they're doing. So,
Well, just kind of to launch off of what Grandmaster said, I think Grandmaster is right. I think that if I understand the concept of the film somewhat, I believe that the Celestials are actually going to end up being like the real villain of the movie. And what's going to happen that the Earth is going to be destroyed in 7 days or whatever is the second arrival of a new celestial, a celestial egg, basically. That's the energy from the snaps, like from with the Infinity Gauntlet, was enough of energy to get this new celestial to be born, essentially. And so that's what's going to happen in the film, is that like the Eternals, yes, they're going to be fighting the deviants, but they're also going to be trying to stop the emergence of this new celestial that's going to be born off the Earth. And essentially the Celestials have been like feeding off of the energy of the human race for like thousands of years. And that's what's been incubating this baby Celestial or whatever. So that's kind of the gist, I believe, or the premise of like the film. But kind of going off of, I would have to agree with everybody that the cast looks great. I love Angelina Jolie. I like Richard Madden. I like Kit Harington. Salma Hayek looks really good. But I think that, and you guys can tell me what you think, but I have a feeling basically that, again, like you guys are saying, I feel like you're all really on point, and I agree with you that without some kind of like preface, for this film to come out so people understand it better, the trailers just come off kind of in a way where you really have no idea what's going on. You know, and if you're a lesser MCU fan, if you don't want to take the time to read about this stuff, you're not really going to know what's going on. But at the same time, I do agree with Grandmaster to some extent. I would not be surprised if this film ends up actually getting like an Oscar nomination or something like that. But when it's all said and done, it might not be for Best Picture. But I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being, you know, Oscar worthy for something, whether it's special effects or cinematography or whatever. But moving on from the Eternals, why don't we go ahead and jump over onto Shang Chi, since that's actually going to be the movie that we have coming up the closest from a time standpoint. We all talked about before the show when we're going to be going to watch it. And I know for myself, I'm going to be going to see it on Friday. Alexis is going on Thursday. Grandmaster's going on Saturday. And Yvonne's not sure yet.
I'll go on Sunday just so it's even.
All right, let's see if I can figure out where this is.
I gave you 10 years to live your life. Now you see me rise. And where did that get you? You walked in my shadow. I trained you. The most dangerous people in the world couldn't kill you. Son, it's time for you to take your place by my side. You better watch out, 'cause it's my time. That's not going to happen. It's a new era, yes, I come alive. Outrun who you really are.
Who are you? We make a good team.
Throughout my life, the 10 rings gave our family power. If you want them to be yours one day, you have to show me you are strong enough to carry them.
You are a product of all who came before you. The legacy of your family. You are your mother. And whether you like it or not, you are also your father.
I told my men they wouldn't be able to kill you if they tried. Glad I was right.
You're just a criminal who murders people.
Be careful how you speak to me, boy.
I thought I could change my name. Start a new life. But I could never escape his shadow.
My son, you can't run from your past.
Is this what you wanted?
this.
Thank you.
Jab, left foot, right hook.
Sorry about that. Anyways, so Grandmaster, what do you think, man? I mean, I know we've talked about Shang-Chi before in the past, but again, just your gut reaction based off the trailers, knowing that we're going to be watching the film here in the next couple days, and we know quite a bit about it so far. What is your take basically on what we saw?
Well, first up, I wanted to say that when Shang-Chi was first announced, it was supposed to come out on Chinese New Year this year. As a big event movie with the all Asian cast coming out on Chinese New Year, that would have been a thing. Unfortunately, we all know why it hasn't come out then yet. But me, as a person who travels to Asia a lot because of family relations, I was really excited to see it in Asia on Chinese New Year. And this movie was already on my list as the most anticipated movies. The trailers only enhanced that and actually hyped me up further. I think it looks absolutely awesome. It looks very epic. It looks like a very good family story. It looks amazing. It has a freaking dragon in it. Come on.
Yeah. Definitely. What do you think, Yvonne? We probably won't spend that much time talking about Shang-Chi, to be honest with you, because we've talked about it quite a bit in the past. But what do you think, Yvonne? What's your take just on the trailers so far?
A couple things. Number one, the main actor for the movie is Canadian, so that's really exciting. Like, Canada's being represented in the actors. Two, this is what a Marvel trailer looks like, right? Like, we just finished talking about how the Eternals didn't really look like a Marvel trailer. Like, this is a Marvel trailer. This is when they first introduce, any new character. It's the hype, it's the action. There's the story for the rest of us who need the story, but there's the action. There's a dragon. There's like some things happening. We're not really sure. It does tie into MCU perfectly. I'm excited for this movie. This is the one that my son has this is Mom, we're going to this movie. So I better get on that now. I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited to see the direction they go in the MCU with these characters.
And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but his name is Simu Liu, I believe, if that's how you pronounce it. Grandmaster, is that right? Simu Liu. Okay.
Yeah, it's an oo at the end, not a u. Simu Liu, right?
Simu Liu. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, he's Shang-Chi.
Apparently he actually got on Twitter and was like, "Hey, I want to be in the MCU. Marvel, call me." And literally, squeaky wheel gets the job.
he actually tweeted, "Hey, Marvel, are we going to talk Shang-Chi or not?"
Yeah.
That was 4 years ago. And he was cast 2 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, squeaky wheel.
Well, what do you think, Alexis? How do you feel about the trailers? Are you really excited about seeing the film?
I am. I know that a lot of fans are excited to see the Mandarin done right. And I know that this will be a major discussion when we review the movie coming up. We're going to talk about what they did with Trevor Slattery versus this. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm also really anticipated about how this is very similar to how Black Panther, when they made that, was a black cast, black director, black writer. This time we got it with Asian Americans. And it's so cool to see that kind of representation in the Marvel universe. Well, just in movies in general. The Marvels that went out of their way, they said, we don't just want, Asian actors. We want to get an Asian director. We want to get all of this, and we want to do it right. And it looks like they have.
For the most part, yes. I would agree with you. I think that I'm excited myself. I mean, I really am. I'm really looking forward to seeing the movie. I feel like the first trailer that came out is growing on me. Like, if the first couple times I saw it, it didn't do that much for me, but it's starting to grow on me over time. And making me just more and more excited. And the story of Shang-Chi is not as convoluted as the Eternals. It's pretty simple. You know, like, I mean, his dad is a bad guy. He's the head of the 10 Rings, you know, crime organization. And his dad wants him to come in and, like, be a part of the crime organization. And Shang-Chi doesn't want to. Like, it's not a complicated story. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, and then, of course, the other aspect of the film is that there's going to be, like, a kung fu style tournament where, like, the winner supposedly gets the 10 rings or whatever, like, you know, whoever wins the tournament. And I was excited to see the Abomination. I mean, I still am excited seeing the Abomination fighting Wong. I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome that Wong is in the movie. Like, there's an actual MCU connection, like Yvonne was talking about, you know, like it ties into the MCU. Like, they have links to the MCU. The Abomination's there. Wong's there.
Trevor Slattery is there.
Yes, Trevor Slattery is there. I don't know. We didn't see him in the trailers, but
he's
he's listed as one of the characters in the film. Yes.
Yeah, and well, I've heard, from what I've heard, that scene in the Spider-Man trailer, which again we will get to, where Wong leaves the Sanctum Sanctorum, is he's headed to that fight.
Yes.
So it's just, yeah, so I don't know why, I just love the idea that they're overlapping the story so they all happen in the same time. I get such a kick out of seeing films and TV shows do that. It's a minor thing, but I love it.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, Wong is in the What If episode 4. You know, like he was in that. And now he's going to be in Shang-Chi. He's going to be in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Wong's going to be pretty popular. But no, I think that like you got like everybody already said, the fact that there's a dragon, like that's awesome. I mean, but I don't really think I don't feel like there's really that much to say really else besides Shang-Chi, to tell you the truth. I think that I just kind of wanted to go around and just get your gut reactions about the film based on the trailers, what you guys are thinking going into watching it. If there's anything else you want to add on Shang-Chi before we move on to Spider-Man 3 and get into the big trailer, just let me know. Does anybody else have anything else on Shang-Chi, Grandmaster?
No, not really. I'm just excited to see it in a couple of days.
I am too. I mean, I don't know how you guys are feeling about it, but at this point right now, if I had to rank the films, I'd say I would rank, if the ones I'm the most excited about are, I guess, probably Spider-Man 3, then Shang-Chi, then the Eternals. That would be my order.
Yeah,
I think that's a fair way to put it.
For me, Shang-Chi would be number 1 and Spider-Man number last.
Okay. That's fair. I think that's fair. I mean,
I will get to that later. Why?
I think Shang-Chi is going to be an excellent film. I don't know how well it's going to do in the box office, but I think it will do better than Black Widow.
Yeah, because it's going to be exclusive in theaters. I mean, Black Widow had a hybrid release. It still made 125 million on streaming. Huh? So
yeah.
Well, Black Widow was also a mess. I'm sorry. I stand by what I said. That movie was not good.
It is not the best MCU movie. I agree. I think it's mid-tier. And if you add the numbers up, it made about $500 million. I think that's fair, especially within a pandemic. I think that's fair.
You're talking about with the streaming mixed in with the box office?
Yeah, the worldwide box office was about 375, and you add another 125 from streaming, so you get to $500 million. So I think that's a fair amount. If you look at where we are, we're still in a pandemic, especially in non-Western countries. Vaccination numbers are not really high, so I think it's a fair number.
I'm going to get mine soon. I've been procrastinating, but I'm going to go down to Walgreens, I think, next week, and I'm going to go ahead and do mine. Me and Alexis were just talking about this the other day. But Yvonne, I haven't had a chance to ask you, what do you think about the whole Black Widow lawsuit with Disney?
It's fair. I think it's fair. A contract's a contract. They didn't uphold their end of the contract. I would say the same thing anybody who was, going after them because a contract wasn't fulfilled. If we take her feelings out of it, right? A contract wasn't fulfilled. She didn't get what she was owed. End of story. Like that's basically what it was. I think we just need to remove our feelings from it and just, set aside. That's her job. That's what she does for a living. So, yeah.
Well, the reason she didn't get paid was because of the box office, because the bonuses that were a part of her contract that she was due to receive were all bonuses that were based off of a certain level of box office performance. And so,
and by the time the movie came out, it's not like COVID was a brand new thing. Disney knew exactly what they were doing, right? They knew that it needed to be released. They could have amended the contract, as there are no shortage of lawyers, right? Like, it needed to be brought up, and they didn't hold up their end of the contract. So, if we just remove all of the, MCU and the feelings and that, oh my goodness, it's Black Widow, and oh my goodness, it's Disney. At the end of it, it comes down to a contract, and the contract was broken. So that's what happens when you break it.
And for some reason, they didn't cut her into the Disney Plus, which I don't understand why they didn't do that. I don't get that.
Which is really weird, because they did that with the Jungle Cruise with The Rock, and they cut them into the Disney release and stuff like that. So again, a contract's a contract, and I stand by it. I'd be just as mad if somebody had a contract and they broke it with me. So it doesn't matter how much money I have. That's my job, and that's what I do. You just make sure you take care.
Yeah, I must say, as a fan, I don't really care. It's a business conflict between a studio and an actress, and I got a okay movie out of it, and I move on. It's not like why would I be taking sides? It's none of my business. It's Scarlett's business. It's Disney's business, and they will figure it out. They will settle in or out of court, but they will settle it in the end, and. It's fine, and if you have a disagreement, well, that happens, and I don't see the problem.
Some people think that this could actually be some kind of catalyst that could actually be where a direction where Marvel is finally going to lose some of its esteem or whatever. You know what I mean? It takes away a little bit from them. Alexis, do you have anything with the lawsuit that you want to add in?
Yeah, we are about to see a brand new clause that's going to be inserted into contracts. We're going to be seeing lawyers developing a new pandemic clause, because the fact is that this is something that businesses are now realizing they need to cover their asses on. The idea that, what happened? Look, I get where Johansson's coming from. I get a little bit where Disney's coming from. Yeah, COVID was new, but at the same time, when they made Black Widow, when they first wrote the contract, they could not have foreseen this. I honestly think that we're going to see a lot of lawyers, a lot of law offices really developing this new clause for their contracts to make sure that this kind of thing does not happen again. Basically saying that if, act of God, as it were, disrupts this movie, here's your buyout, for lack of better words. I'm not a lawyer. I'm an artist. I don't know what I'm talking about with clauses.
But it's no different that when, insurances used to have clauses for this, then, and that, and then they had to put the act of God clause in there because they couldn't pay for everything that was happening because of tornadoes or, massive hurricanes and things like that. They had to put that clause in there. So it's the same thing. We've never been through a pandemic. There is an amendment in the world. People have to adjust the clause and how they do business, and then life goes on. But honestly, if I was a lawyer, that would have been one of the things I first should have done for Disney was go, okay, whose clause could we potentially be breaking? But Grandmaster said it right. It's none of our business. It's between them, and it doesn't really need to go through, the media. We don't need to be watching what's happening. That can be done closed doors, and everybody's going to still watch MCU. Nobody's going to stop watching it because, Scarlett Johansson didn't get her money. We're still
That's a good point. It's a Disney Scarlett thing. It's not a Marvel Studios thing. Kevin Feige already flat out said that they should just pay her.
And it's a conflict between a very rich actress and a very rich studio, and in the end, who cares?
Yeah.
In the end, Scarlett Johansson, Disney is basically going to walk up to Scarlett Johansson, hand her a very large check, say, "Okay, this will cover the difference." They will settle out of court. This will be settled out of court.
Oh yeah,
that there is no question about that. And then Disney lawyers will have a new clause put into all future contracts.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. My dad is he has this whole personal take on it where he feels like ScarJo really got screwed because Robert Downey Jr. got paid. Chris Evans got paid. You know what I mean? Why isn't ScarJo getting paid?
Because of a pandemic. and
Yes.
that's nobody's fault. And I mean that happens, and it wasn't covered in the contract, of course, because who could have foreseen this? And yeah, then I don't think she got screwed. I do think that's just a personal take that Disney needs to do her right, and they will in the end. And it may take a while, and it may lawyers are involved, so it will always be a little bit messy. But yeah, they will settle. And again, it's not important for what I'm in for, and that's the movies itself.
Speaking of pandemics, though, little news just popped up over my feed here. Insider report: there is a very good chance that Spider-Man: No Way Home may be delayed until March 2022.
Really?
Looks like studios are starting to get a little paranoid about the Delta variant.
Interesting.
They better put those clauses in right away then.
Yeah, no kidding. Someone else just wrote on there. It's like, oh, just put everything on Disney Plus. I'm like, no. I am not seeing Spider. I'm sorry. I saw Black Widow at home just because my husband wasn't feeling good, so we decided to stay home and pay premium access for this. Spider-Man, you get 3D tickets and you go see that on the freaking IMAX screen. That is not a movie you watch at home.
See, I think you want.
Unless you have a really good TV and a sound system, because we have a huge TV and like surround sound, so it's like being in a theater.
Well, that's the thing, though. I kind of feel like maybe if you had saw Black Widow in the theater, Alexis, I think you would have enjoyed it more, potentially.
Maybe. We actually talked about that on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network when we reviewed Artemis Fowl, which is a terrible movie. But we discussed how we all saw it at home because it was released on Disney Plus during the height of the pandemic. And we said, one of the takeaways is that none of us are talking about the special effects in this movie and all the CGI and everything used to create the fairy world or whatever it was. I'm like, it's like we're all saying the movie is bad, but would there have been a saving grace if we had seen it on the big screen and actually been able to enjoy the experience of seeing it like that? A lot of times when we talk about a movie, even if it's the one we don't enjoy, if it's still good looking enough, we will discuss that. We will talk about how the CGI is good.
I thought the Black Widow film was actually visually stimulating to me. Like I really did, especially the scenes in Budapest. I thought were great. Go ahead, Grandmaster.
Well, I've seen Black Widow first on the small screen, and I mean a small screen. It was a computer monitor, and then I saw it on in a movie theater the next day. I thought it didn't feel any difference to me. It was an okay movie, and I 7 out of 10. It's mid-tier MCU, and which is usually already a lot better than most movies they put out. But it wasn't great or anything.
Okay,
you know what?
Oh, go ahead, Yvonne.
I loved Black Widow, but that's because I've seen her character throughout them, and I owed it to watch the story of Black Widow. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I know you like Black Widow. We agreed when we did the review on the MCU's Bleeding Edge that we loved it.
Right, but it, for some people, you watched it because you owed it to know like the end of her character, right? Like you even if it wasn't super great, like you needed to watch it just to kind of see the end of it. But I think they make movies so that when you go to the theater, it's like visually stimulating. And some of these movies are just not meant to see on a tiny screen.
I think they did a good job wrapping up her arc in the MCU overall. That's my take on it. I think they did a good job with that. I'm happy with how they wrapped up her arc.
To me, it was more.
You want to hear my opinion on the movie?
Yeah.
Go listen to the Radulich and Broadcasting Network's review of Black Widow on Damn You Hollywood. Plug. On the grounds that we have a what if show to review tonight, and I still have a lot of work to do, I am hoping let's not turn this into a Black Widow discussion for too long.
We're going to go ahead and jump
be here that long.
I've only watched the Spider-Man 3 trailer one time, so this is going to be my second time watching it. So let's go ahead and watch it.
Oh, look at this. This is a good one. Some suggest that Parker's powers include the male spider's ability to hypnotize females.
Stop, come on.
Yes, my spider lord.
Can we just stay up here all day? It is so crazy down there.
That's right, folks. Spider-Man is in fact Peter Parker.
Listen, I did not kill Mysterio. The drones did.
The drones that are yours.
Does any part of you feel relieved about all this?
What do you mean?
Now that everybody knows, you don't really have to hide or lie to people.
For the record, I never wanted to lie to you. But how do you tell someone that you're Spider-Man? Now everybody knows. But this isn't about me. This is hurting a lot of people. I've just been thinking about how to fix all of this.
So, Peter, to what do I owe the pleasure?
I'm sorry to bother you, sir.
Please, we saved half the universe together. I think we're beyond you calling me sir.
Okay, Steven.
That feels weird, but I'll allow it.
When Mysterio revealed my identity, my entire life got screwed up. I was wondering if maybe you could make it so that he never did.
Strange. Don't cast that spell. It's too dangerous. Fine. I won't. The entire world is about to forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Wait, everyone? Can't some people still know?
That's not how the spell works.
So MJ's gonna forget about everything we've ever been through?
Stop tampering with the spell.
Oh my God, Ned, he's my best friend. Oh, my Aunt May should really know.
Stop talking.
What just happened?
We tampered with the stability of space-time. The multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little. The problem is you trying to live two different lives. The longer you do it, the more dangerous it becomes. Be careful what you wish for, Parker.
Hello, Peter.
All right, Grandmaster, you're up first. What are your thoughts on the Spider-Man?
You don't want to do that.
trailer?
You don't want to do that.
No, go ahead.
I absolutely hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like multiverse stories. I
know you
don't
don't.
like connecting old franchises to the MCU. I don't, and I get everything like that. So I absolutely hate what they are doing.
Well, you know what? That's a very bold take, and I appreciate your honesty. I do. I know you don't care for the multiverse stuff, and I'll be honest with you, Grandmaster. You and I have been in agreement on that on the Podcast of Champions multiple times now because I'm in the same space that you are. I'm okay with the Spider-Man 3 trailer. I like the direction they're going, but at the same time, I really feel like this, if they overdo this multiverse stuff, it could really backfire.
Yeah. Multiverse has a potential to lead to lazy writing. If I need a character, I can just grab it from the multiverse and boom, it's in the MCU. And Marvel Studios has never done that before. They always did the work. They always build up. They always introduce characters in a natural way. And using the multiverse, to me, is weak sauce. That being said, I really hope that Alfred Molina and all the other characters that are rumored to be in this movie are like J.K. Simmons, JJJ in Far From Home. Same actor, same character, different iteration. If it's like that, I'm fine with it. And I do hope that they close the multiverse drama after Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness because, I just don't like it.
I think they will. Yvonne, what do you think? What is your take on the Spider-Man 3 trailer?
As Alexis said, when you saw Spider-Man come up and you're like, everyone got really excited. I think that's what happens when you see like Dr. Octopus shows up and he's like, "Hello, Peter," all of a sudden I'm transported back into like early 2000 when I first watched Spider-Man and really enjoyed, the Spider-Verse and stuff. So that's exciting. I'm excited to see it. I do think with Grandmaster the same way, people are not understanding the multiverse. I've had a conversation numerous times with people are like, I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on. Are they the same people? Are they different people? Do they like mold into one? And so if we keep going down this without explaining any more of what's happening, we're going to lose a lot of people. But as for just Spider-Man, the No Way Home trailer, I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great movie, and I'm really excited because I understand what's happening in the multiverse. So I'm going to go and enjoy it.
Alexis, do you think that Spider-Man 3 could end up potentially being kind of convoluted based off of this whole multiverse aspect?
Honestly, no. I think this is the way Marvel's going to be going. It was really set up with the Loki series, and I agree it can be an issue. It can lead to lazy writing. Grandmaster, you're 100% right there. But I don't think it will lead to lazy writing. I feel that the multiverse usage in Marvel Cinematic Universe is actually going to be really useful for bringing in more characters, because we have a lot of other Marvel characters to bring in that, frankly, it makes no sense to say, oh, they've been in the background this whole time, and during the whole thing with Thanos and the snap or the blip or whatever you call it, they were just in the background hanging out. That doesn't make sense. I think that doing this is going to be a really good way to introduce a lot of new characters, especially X-Men. The trailer got me so.
Are you saying you're really going to piss me and Grandmaster off now? Are you saying that you want them to bring the X-Men from the multiverse?
I'm not saying I want to, but if you made me, place a bet, that's what I would put my money on. Right now, I reserve the right to change my mind, but that's if I have to lay down my predictions, that's what I think they're going for. Either way, still really excited about it. The trailer I thought was so well done. And I'm a little bit of an ego boost here for myself when we were, okay, by the way, mentioned about J. Jonah Jameson. When we reviewed Far From Home on the other network, we were talking about things we liked, things we didn't like. I'm like, can we just all at least agree? Every Marvel fan in the world agrees that J.K. Simmons should always play J. Jonah Jameson. It's like, can we at least all get on that page, please?
Yeah, I don't have any problem with it. But okay, let's talk Doc Ock. I mean,
well, I still had I'm sorry, I still did have a point to make. I wasn't done talking.
Oh, go ahead, Alexis. Go ahead. Then we'll get you in, Grandmaster.
No, what made me excited is that before, we knew anything about this film, before we knew they were going to go with the multiverse theory, I put down a prediction that the next Spider-Man movie was going to be Sinister Six. I said, now that Peter Parker's identity is leaked, and you had that lead up with Scorpion at the end of Homecoming, we've got some guys here who just really want to crack at him. The idea that now they all know who it is. I really predicted we were going to get a version of the Sinister Six. And then when they said they were doing the multiverse, I'm like, okay, fine, I guess we're not getting it. We're seeing Green Goblin. We're seeing Doc Ock. We saw Electro. We saw Sandman. And from what I heard, that shadow figure that attacks the one guy is supposed to be Lizard.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting my prediction is still right, and we are going to get a version of the Sinister Six, and I'm really excited about that.
I think that voice that you hear at one point is the Lizard. I don't think that that's the Green Goblin. When you hear that voice say, don't
be careful what you wish for.
Be careful what you wish for. I think
that's Doctor Strange. That's Benedict Cumberbatch saying that. Definitely.
Okay. All right. Grandmaster, what were you going to say?
Well, now we get Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. He's coming back. Spider-Man 2 is one of the most awesome comic book movies of all time, and
without question.
And Doc Ock had a great arc in that, but he died. Now they're bringing him back, and that worries me because that takes away from that movie, in my view, as a fan. So I really hope it's not the same iteration of the character. And That and as an additional point, there is a Dr. Octavius running around in the main MCU universe, and we wouldn't get that Doc Ock, and yeah, that saddens me as well. I mean, it's a bit easy. We've seen this already, and rehashing things is never a good idea. I can imagine it as a one-off, and then I would be totally on board. And if I take away my concerns and put them aside, I see the awesomeness in this trailer. Don't get me wrong. I see it. I can see why people are excited. It's just not for me. And I'm happy for the people who want this to happen. They get what they want. It's just not what I want. But I'm not a selfish person.
I get what you're saying, Grandmaster, but let me put it. Let me throw a hypothetical situation to you. What we were just talking about with the Eternals and the idea of these new characters and new villains and everything. Let's say that this trailer, they brought in another actor to play Doc Ock, and then it was just going to be it was another dimensions, another universe's Doc Ock, another universe's Spider-Man. I feel that by having Alfred Molina reprise his role, and yes, it is weird that he died, but I feel that reprising his role in there cements a little bit better the idea of the multiverse without it being too overwhelming and too much to throw onto our shoulders at once. I feel that having the same actor come back to play this role is striking that, that's what's going on. I honestly think that if this movie had brought in another actor to play Doc Ock from another dimension, it would have been too new, too much, and too confusing. So even though, yes, Molina's role and his death scene in Spider-Man 2, no one's going to argue that Spider-Man 2 is an amazing movie. That and Into the Spider-Verse are always going to be up there as the two greatest Spider-Man movies of all time, easily. But I feel that having that up there is what they needed to strike a balance for the fans and those who are not 100% familiar with what's going on.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and as far as the whole thing with the X-Men, like we were talking about before a minute ago, I didn't mention this during the Eternals, but obviously, this whole concept in the Eternals that the energy from the snaps, Hulk snap and Thanos' snap and everything like that is enough energy to power the celestial egg or whatever that's on Earth or whatever, could also very well be the reasoning for where mutants would be coming from. You know what I mean? Like that energy could have caused a dormant X gene in people to activate or something like that. You know what I mean? That could give us mutants, but at the same time, it still doesn't make up for where the hell was Wolverine been the entire time? Where's Professor Xavier been the entire time? So I don't, how they're going to work that all out, I have no idea. But Yvonne, do you have anything else that you want to add to the Spider-Man 3 talk?
No, I'm just really excited to see it. I love Doctor Strange. Tom Holland has been fantastic as Spider-Man. I love how they casted Spider-Man. It's really hard. It's hard when you've seen it, done like 2 other times and, that's nostalgia for you. They've really casted so well. I'm really excited to see it. I'm excited how it's going to tie into Doctor Strange and the multiverse, Alexis is right. I really love how they brought in an old character because it does cement that there's something happening in the multiverse without me having to whisper to somebody beside me going, that's the character, that's this is what's happening. So we don't have a long backstory in the movie. We can actually just get on with it. So I do see that, and I think that's going to be why they brought those characters back, because it's actually pulling from something we're already familiar with so that they can build on it. So yeah, I think it's a good, great movie, and I cannot wait to see it in the theaters.
There's a question that's been buzzing around that I just want to hear your guys' opinion on, if we can real quick. So we know that this trailer got leaked, and I don't know if you guys saw the leak when it first came out. It was a bootleg. I saw it. It was a bootleg. It had a watermark over it. You could barely hear it.
I waited until the real trailer came out.
Okay, I did watch it. You could barely hear what was going on because someone in a different language was talking over it. The special effects were not complete. It was very crude CGI animation. You could tell that it was placeholders and stuff. But then Marvel releases the finished trailer. But here's the thing. There are some people who are saying that Marvel leaked it on purpose to build up excitement, and then they release the proper trailer. Do you, A, think that, yes, Marvel leaked the incomplete trailer via a bootleg to get people excited? Or B, do you think someone done screwed up, got fired, and Marvel just said, well, we might as well release the finished trailer now? So what do you think happened?
I'll go first, and then we'll go to Grandmaster, and then we'll go to Yvonne. I think that Marvel leaked it. Or Disney. Whoever you want, Marvel,
Disney, Sony. Yeah. Whoever had it.
Yeah, I do. I do believe that that's what happened. Grandmaster, what do you think?
I actually don't know. I know that 3 days before the trailer came out, Kevin Feige was on comicbook.com talking to Brandon Davis, saying, isn't it ever enough when he was asked about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer? Like, hey, stop nagging me. So maybe he was just fed up and just released the damn thing. and yeah, if I were to guess, it does sound like something Marvel would do.
Yvonne?
Yes, I think Marvel leaked it. And I think it's funny because everybody was talking about when DC did all the Snyder cuts and stuff like that. And, things were coming out. And I know that Marvel, a lot of fans were like, oh, I wish this would happen. I wish this was happening. And I wish this. And all of a sudden we got a leaked trailer to like the biggest movie people have been waiting for. I'm like, yeah, that's not a coincidence. I think they leaked it. I think with everything that was happening with the lawsuit, we're going to boost some numbers up here, and that's how we're going to do it. So I think they leaked it on their own.
It seems like something that Marvel would do to me as well. It really does. I mean, I think that they do a really good job of controlling these environments, these productions and everything. I think they do a really good job of trying to make sure that nothing gets leaked unless they want it leaked. Not that it doesn't happen. It does happen. Let's be honest here. We all know let's look at Infinity War and Endgame and all the leaks that came out that ended up being completely true months and months and months before Endgame came out, months and months before Infinity War. There are certain people out there that are leakers, but okay. Let's listen. I mean, basically, why don't we go ahead and wrap this up, folks? Why don't we go ahead and do all of our plugs right now? Yvonne, if you want to start first. Yvonne is the host of On the Road to Damascus podcast through Anchor. If you want to go ahead and kind of plug that, Yvonne, and say your goodbyes.
Yeah, they have podcasts On the Road to Damascus. We're heading into season 3 starting in September. So we're really excited about it. And you can find all that information on damascusexperience.com. Thank you very much for having me.
We're really glad to have you. And what is that? What is the website again?
damascusexperience.com.
Great, because I will check it out myself. I always love to look at people's websites so I can try to see if I can find things that I can steal and put on mine. Grandmaster, do you want to go ahead and shout out sakar.freeforums.net and the Podcast of Champions and kind of explain that whole deal?
No, you already did it for me, but yeah, you can find the forum on sakar.freeforums.net. And if you type in Podcast of Champions on YouTube, you can find our YouTube channel. If you want to be on our podcast or review, that's possible. Just sign up on Sakar, and you can be on the podcast or review, and we love to see you there. So come join us.
I am a guest on there regularly, and I do enjoy myself on there. I like being on the forum. We have Arch usually on the show, and he comes from the Podcast of Champions as well. Lord Deathman is going to be on the panel tonight with me and Alexis on the 9:05 p.m. live stream edition of the MCU's Bleeding Edge that we're going to be doing in about 3 hours. So, Alexis, do you want to go ahead and plug all of your stuff and plug the Religion Broadcasting Network stuff?
Absolutely. Radulich and Broadcasting Network, like I said earlier, we just did our roundtable discussion on Candyman. It was a very different way of reviewing, but I think it was a lot of fun. We're also going to be doing a quick review on the new Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse shorts that have been premiering on Disney+. Mark and I will be recording and debuting that on Friday. We just wrapped up our latest episode of Tripped Up Trivia this last Saturday. Had so much fun recording that. We will be reviewing Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings hopefully next week. I need to double check my calendar because I have been all over the country this last month. I did 2 weeks in Florida, then came back to Kansas City, and then I just came back from Colorado Springs. I don't even know what time zone I'm in anymore. So we will be heading, Honeysuckle Rose Creations will be heading to the Cincinnati Comic Expo coming up here in a few weeks. Until then, like I mentioned, we are doing our Labor Day sale starting on Friday the 3rd. Everything in both our Etsy and Handmade at Amazon shops will be 15% off. By the way, Jeff, you do realize you have left my
yes
logo.
Yep.
There it is. Now I'm pointing in the right direction.
I'm going to switch it right now.
Yeah, it's like I appreciate the extra plugs, but at the same time, it's like, my jewelry's been on the front page of this entire discussion.
I wanted it to be out there so people could see it.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So yes, Honeysuckle Rose Creations. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So.
I'm sure I could probably add a link to your stuff too, probably in the description for this video. I'll talk to you. I'll get with you after the show about that.
You got it.
See what we can put together, for a description for that stuff. I've got to get along starting to do is making sure that I start getting you guys' links and stuff like that out there in the descriptions of these videos so people can get to your actual content. But Grandmaster, what's the ETA on the Shang-Chi review on the Podcast of Champions looking like?
For now, it's scheduled to be recorded on 5 p.m. on Sunday.
Okay, so Sunday, not Saturday.
Saturday we are doing our What If episode 4 review.
Okay.
And some people couldn't make it to go on Saturday to watch the movie, so they will watch it on Sunday. And then I think Taylor is going to be watching it, come home, and then immediately dive into the review. So for now, we're recording it on Sunday, so expect it to be online somewhere Monday or Tuesday, depending on how busy I am.
Oh, yes. I would definitely advise everybody out there to subscribe to the Podcast of Champions YouTube channel. We have a lot of fun over there. We do some really great shows, and I'll be looking forward to doing that Shang-Chi review with you here, Grandmaster, hopefully this weekend. But
you're welcome. If you want, you can join us. You can know where to find us.
That's right. We can always use new guests. So, okay, everybody. Well, look, for the MCU's Bleeding Edge, can I just say that I wouldn't mind shamelessly plugging that I would love to have as many people as possible subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is going to be a basically strictly YouTube release here, this video. So everybody out there, if you could subscribe to the MCU's Bleeding Edge, of course, support our guest content. And, just give us love. Don't be afraid to write us a review on this. Don't be afraid to comment on the video when it comes out. Say nice things to us. We like positive feedback. And it was really great to have you, Yvonne. It was really great to see you, Alexis, Grandmaster. I look forward to working with all of you again here shortly. And we will talk to you very soon. Thank you very much, folks. We'll see you next time.